while, not done live streaming in a very long time. What we are going to do is audio, music file, and we're going to do the music. Yeah, go. Yeah, there we go. Yes, it's been a while since I've been live, but this isn't going to be a very long. Let's see if it's working for us. I hate when my live stream messes up for no reason at all. That's perfectly fine. Right, so yeah, we are playing. I've not played this game before. A Stanley Parable? Parable? Who knows? Who cares? Just jump in. Moist.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day something very peculiar happened, something that would forever change Stanley, something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright, so I'm actually playing now, am I? Yeah. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay. He moves quick then.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, I'm going right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Give me a Pepsi, man. I want
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yeah. No,
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Oh, I didn't, because I want to explore a bit more.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
So fall off.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in
Sure.
control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Okay, it's a bit of a funny game, huh? There we go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No, I don't think so. I'm going to the
When
right.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
Let's make coffee.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No. See ya. Wait, what is... let's keep going.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
I know you can go in that room, so we'll do it another time.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Do I enter? Sure. Yeah. Cool.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I don't want it. I want to get out. Let me out. Yeah, I got it.
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person.
but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video. Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do.
I 100% this game.
Yo, what's up, man? What's up? Yeah? So I gotta plug the phone back. Oh.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality. Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, wait, door on the left. Alright. Let's get it.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 115.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115.
What
He
you got to
spoke
say?
it into the receiver right
What?
there on the wall.
You don't have to say it, dear. What? Please speak. Night
I'm
Shark
sorry, sir,
115.
You didn't mishear me, did you?
Yes, I
Please
did.
speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Did. Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine, you're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The
did,
kind
man.
of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What's this game, man? What the hell's going on? Right, we'll do it again. It should be working.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
What the fuck?
behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Do you actually have to say that?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
The fuck is going on?
behave exactly as Stanley would.
I am
That
acting
means
like
choosing
King
responsibly
Stanley.
and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Right, that's what I'm doing.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
The fuck? Why does it keep going blank
behave
screen?
exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
You get 2 trophies just for getting a trophy. Okay. It'd be easy to platinum. Right, I'm doing it. Look.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Do not
behave
mess me
exactly
about.
as Stanley
I
would.
can't keep
That means
resetting.
choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This is exactly what I'm doing, and my door on the left. Jeez, man. Let him talk first.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Why is it doing this? Is my game glitching?
behave exactly as Stanley would.
Fuck this. Let's go back to the menu. Sometimes it close it or something. I don't understand what's going on.
This is the story of...
Yes, I know the story. Why have you got to start again?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wait, how do I save it then? What?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the
Keep
door on
going.
his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Right, okay. Now it's
Coming to a
working.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What
Wait,
dark
this
secret was
tripped me
being
out.
held from him?
Didn't I
What
go
he
a
could
different
not have
way
known
last time?
was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
This is a weird game. Frick. Okay, let's go down. It's very weird.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
This is escape there. This. I'm gonna escape. Listen to that
Although
guy.
this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Yeah, right. Alright, we'll find out.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Nah, you're tricking me.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Okay, he wasn't lying. What the heck?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell. Tally-ho. Dead.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
What the heck is going on?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What
No.
exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you
No.
see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Yes. Yeah. Right. What's this? Oh, yeah, trophy running and do it. Can't be bothered. Let's just turn off computers. I can't be bothered to do trophies at the moment. Ugh, this is a load of rubbish. Like codes and stuff, I guess. Yeah. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? What have I created?
Where
Okay.
were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing? Does that sound plausible to you?
Yeah, yeah.
When Stanley came to the lift, he travelled upward to the power source at the top. Then he pushed the number 4 to end this injustice forever.
Surprise. Hmm. I want to play some Warzone, actually. PlayStation. Yeah, I reckon I'm supposed to do, man. Could you tell me what? I don't know. It's 12. Could you tell me what the other? Oh, I thought it's the number, the door number of the room. I thought it's 12 or something. I don't know what that is. But the numbers are. Well, there was numbers there, like 12 and 4 and 6. And what's going on in this game? Look at 40. Oh, 43 by the looks of it. Yeah. Thought it's like room number 12 or something. It's like room number 40. What is going on? I've not seen this one. Hang on. That's it. It's X. I don't know. I don't want to do it again. Exit, there we go. Yeah, that's exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Okay, I'll be free.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save those two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as
Should
you
just
move
turn it off
forward, you'll
and
be
mess up
walking
on
someone else's
PlayStation.
path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice.
Alright, I end the stream. I'm joking.
Choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let
Turn it off. Oh, I'm dead again. Turn off your PlayStation. Okay, that's quite funny.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Can't trick me, just turn it off. Don't turn it off.
I love this game,
Set of two open doors. He entered the door on his left.
I never played it, so... Quite fun so far.
Yet
Weird.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Oh,
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Hang on. If it starts me again, what's going on?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, we'll do it this way now.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Press the button.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded
Get on
from
with
this
it.
very place. And as the cold reality of his
Jeez,
past
man.
began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For
Right.
he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
He's like, get on with it. Press this button.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
What do I do? Do I turn on? Turn off. Yeah, good. Yeah, destroy it all. Take it all. Yeah. That's it. Completed it. Yeah.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
You're free, Stanley. Be free.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of a new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Did I literally just beat the game? What? What? That's the fastest ending. Clearly there's more in there, so we'll do the rest.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Right, we do another ending another time. This is really short. But to be fair, I'm going to stream a bit of Call of Duty in 5 minutes, I reckon. So, yeah, this is one ending. Then we're going to do another ending another time. I appreciate you all being here. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you're new. Appreciate a new person stopping by. And I
When
appreciate
Stanley
you all.
came to a set of two open
before you
doors,
spoil it.
he entered the door on his left.
Appreciate you all from stopping by. Till next time, peace. Actually, I'll come and watch my live stream on Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Do we play a bit of Warzone? Possibility, yes. We'll have a couple of games of Warzone on that. Yeah, Warzone multiplayer. I mean, and that is it. No zombies. Like I don't mind some. I don't really like it much, but yeah. So I'll see you all then. Peace out, bye-bye, and see you on BO6.